Whoa, that took a different turn. Wait a minute. Hey guys, welcome back to my channel, or welcome to my channel. My name is Jenny, and I'm going to read a few concerning Reddits that I came across earlier today. Just thought I would share. I need to get some content out there. I had like a week where I just took a break from posting and social media. I'm not monetized on YouTube. I don't have enough followers for that or subscribers for that. I am monetized on Instagram and Facebook. I think I was a long time ago on TikTok, but I don't. In order to go viral, you have to be like insane, absurd, do something crazy, and I just don't know what that would be that wouldn't like embarrass my family, make me look crazy, so just gonna be myself, and whatever happens so I think being myself and allowing like nature allowing me to gain subscribers naturally without having to beg for one, and without having to do something insane or lie or anything. You know how people kind of not necessarily lie but stretch the truth to make it entertaining. I can't do that. I'm not good at that. I'm just good at reading. I'm not even really good at reading, but I don't know. This is what I want to do, so I'm going to do it, whether I get paid for it or not. So these are a couple of I think I have 4 Reddit stories to read to you guys. One of them has an update, and yeah, let's get into that. All right. The first one I saw, and anyway, okay. Yeah, so this woman on Reddit, all she says is, I, 54 female, have been married to my husband for, her husband is 60, and they've been married for 35 years. And she's asking for someone to catfish him because a few years back, she says, I looked in his phone and saw way too much, and she has a feeling that he's up to it again. So she's asking if anyone will catfish him so she can see if he would be willing or agree to meet up with another woman. That's pretty brave. I don't suggest tempting your spouse like that. Anyway, this is the second story that I saw, and it's explicit, trigger warning. It's about a married couple, so I haven't read it all, but I only read the description, which was AITA for yelling at my husband, I don't ever want to do a certain act in the bedroom ever again. So she says, my boyfriend, who's 25 and she is 23, they've been together for a year. She says, early on in our relationship, when we started being intimate and discussing what we like and don't like, I told him that there was an intimate act in bed that I do not like and do not want to do it ever. I have tried it with other partners and did not like it. He tried to argue, saying that my other partners, just didn't do it right, and that I should try it with him because he knows what he's doing. I know what they're talking about. And you don't have to do that. You should not do that. I mean, I'm almost 40, okay? I've done all the things too, but I regret. This went on for a few weeks, and finally I caved and did the act, and as I predicted, did not like it at all. I told him I did not like it and that I did not ever want to do it again. I went into the bathroom to shower and scrubbed my skin so hard that some spots were raw, and bleeding when I was done. He saw my skin but just said it wouldn't be that bad if I just relaxed. I know exactly what they're talking about. No, guys, y'all have to stop. I haven't done it since, and we have plenty of spontaneous moments and acts in the bedroom without this one act that I don't want to do. There are also things he doesn't want to do in the bedroom, and I respect his boundaries and hard limits, so I don't ask for them. Exactly. Intimacy is not fun when your partner isn't into it. It should be enjoyable for both people, shouldn't it? I don't know if men feel that way. Every few weeks, he will hint at doing it again, but I shut it down with a firm no. We then go on for a time without him bringing it up, and recently he hit 25 and asked for the act for his birthday. I told him no. He then described how an ex he hasn't dated since he was 15 would do it, and said I would try to do it like she did, and I might like it. I've never yelled at him before, but I just lost it. I don't blame you. I came unglued. I'm sure I looked and sounded crazy. I told him I hate doing that, and it makes me feel dirty, and I told him how I scrubbed my skin so hard afterwards that it was so raw and even bleeding. I've never had trauma with the act, like no one ever held me down and forced me or anything. Lucky. But I can't do it, and I don't want to do it. He said I was being dramatic, and when I felt like being rational, he'd be waiting. I've been sleeping in the spare room for almost a week, and I don't know what to do or how much clearer I can be. He says I'm being unreasonable, and I'm the asshole for not doing this one thing for him. No, she's not. It affects her body. I countered with, there are intimate things I like but don't ever ask for because I know he doesn't like them, and he just says that's different but won't tell me how it is different because it's not different. He's gaslighting you. He's manipulating you to get what he wants. Am I being the asshole for not wanting to do it and saying no when he wants this act? No, you're never an asshole for standing up for yourself and for not allowing someone to do something to you that you do not like. Edit, because people have been asking, and it's apparently not against the rules to say, he wants to release his bladder on his partner. Whoa, that took a different turn. Wait a minute. I thought we were talking about something else. Okay. He wants to release his bladder on his partner, not inside, just on. Okay, R. Kelly. I'm sorry, it just makes me so ill to think about same girl, same. Also to add, I am in the habit of calling him husband, and he calls me wifey because of an inside joke we share about our first date, and he is in fact just my boyfriend. Okay, here's an update. I'm done. Yes, girl, yes. You don't want to be... Oh my gosh, I thought he was wanting her to... Okay. I didn't catch my breath. I just got mad and disgusted. Oh my God. My original post is on my page, but basically I asked if I was an asshole for not wanting my boyfriend to pee on me during intimacy. So I hope you all will be glad to know I am safe and I left. Thank God. The day I made the post, he pushed again to urinate on me during sex, and I said no, and honestly I got a bit mad. I told him exactly how I feel about it. Again, told him I hate it. I will never do it again with him or anyone else. And if he can't let it go, we're done. This is where it gets scary. I have had a beautiful glass cake plate. I don't bake, but I like getting mini cakes and cupcakes and displaying them in this cake plate. When I said he either let it go or we are done, he picked up the cake plate and threw it at me. I have terrible reflexes. Dodgeball in high school was pure torture. I tend to freeze when things come at my face, and I don't know what compelled me to move, but I managed to duck out of the way just in time. I had a glass in my hair and all around me. If I hadn't ducked, I would have been hit by the plate and probably hurt very bad. He's never done anything like that before, and we both froze. He then grabbed his keys and said, I need to drive, before walking out. I don't know how long I stood there, but after a bit, I reached for my phone and called a friend from college. I broke down, told her everything, even his kink he kept pushing for. She says, "Sorry, Kathy, I know, TMI." She came over and helped me pile her car with my clothes, school supplies, and anything I didn't want to leave behind. It felt surreal, like I was watching it all happen to someone else. Once I shut the car door, I proceeded to freak out, having a hard time breathing. I thought I was dying. It's a panic attack. I have those every day. Eventually, she calmed me down and got me to her apartment and told me I'm welcome to stay. Apparently, my friends were growing concerned and pointed out things in his behavior I didn't even notice. They were contemplating if they should say something, not knowing what was going on behind closed doors. Almost all of them came over and helped set me up in the living room, which has a pull-out, and one of her roommates cleared out space for my things in her closet. That is so nice. It is her and 2 others, but one is moving out in a few months. She said I'm welcome to take over the roommate spot when she leaves. And she stayed with me all night and called into work because I was a wreck and didn't want to be left alone. Haven't heard from my ex at all, and I blocked him on everything. Kathy and my friends have all volunteered to walk me to my classes just in case. Yeah, this guy sounds like a psycho. A few of you suggested therapy, and I'm going to look into finding one I can afford. I have a lot of things to figure out about my life, but I'm safe, and that's a good start. Thank you all for everything. Oh my gosh, y'all. I really honestly thought that he was asking her to do, I think y'all can catch on to what I'm talking about. That's what I thought he was asking her to do, which if she doesn't want to do that, don't force her. If your partner is not okay with something, don't force them or you're going to lose them, or you should lose them anyway. Okay. A third story does have ABUs, trigger warning. AITA for sending my ex's wife a binder documenting his abuse after I found out that she was pregnant. This is a throwaway because I'm not anonymous on my main. I have an ex who I was in an abusive relationship with that ended with quite a bang. He was arrested for harassment and threats with a dangerous weapon, put on probation for 5 years, and can never own a firearm again. The abuse started mentally, then financially, then physically. During my years with him, I did think to save a good amount of evidence of the abuse and documented a lot in personal journals, and in the years since, I've gone to a lot of therapy, and I mean a lot, and ended up compiling that documentation into a binder. I basically scrapbooked my way through processing trauma. And that binder has been sitting in a storage unit since I moved in with my now husband. Well, I knew that my ex ended up marrying a girl that I knew in high school, and she was sweet and smart and very liberal. This guy was a deadbeat, misspelled a tattoo he did on himself, oh my gosh, and wished he was at the Capitol on the 6th. I swear my taste in men isn't total trash. My husband is amazing. But the pair never made sense to me, and I just prayed that he was capable of change and didn't do what he did to me to her. When I found out that she was pregnant with his kid, I couldn't stop worrying about her. I found out, as expected, the story she got was that I was crazy and a cheater and I made things up, and she likely didn't even know about his arrest and conviction. I don't know what their relationship was like behind doors, but I knew that I'd have an endless amount of what ifs if he had a child with her and was anything like he was with me, because nobody deserves the treatment I got, and no child should ever have to see that or think it's okay. So I made a copy of every single page I put in the binder and packed them with a handwritten note offering to talk about anything if she'd like. I gave them to a mutual friend to deliver to her so he couldn't intercept. About a week later, she texted me, and we met for coffee, and she brought the papers, pulling pages out one by one and asking for context and comparing the story he told to mine. After a bit, she just sat silently and told me how sorry she was for what I went through. I was a little surprised that she believed it, no question, and she told me she didn't believe any of it until the official court records and my victim impact statement. Then it was like it all clicked how real it was. I offered her a room or any help if she wanted to leave, but she said she was going to head home and pack a bag for her parents. It's been a few days since, and she's staying with them until she decides her next move, but hasn't told him the real reason behind this all yet. At first, I had no doubt or regret about what I did, but I've had some people tell me that I had no business blowing up her life, and I have no idea what he is like now. But I was doing what I think I would want someone to do for me, and I'm not sure. Am I the asshole? Okay, before we read her edit, what do you think? Tell me in the comments. Do you think that her warning her ex's pregnant wife that he's abusive is wrong? Do you think that makes her an asshole? I personally do not. I think people are very good at lying and making you believe that their ex was just awful when in fact they weren't. It was actually them. Anyway, okay, so edit to answer common questions that she's been getting. I found out about the marriage and the pregnancy through screenshots sent to me. It's a small town gossip, not me keeping tabs. So she didn't go looking for it. She was just told because she lives in a small town. Same. I know everything about everybody, even if I don't want to. I waited until after she was pregnant because I had thought about doing it when I found out they were married, but decided to stay out of it. When I found out she was pregnant, I knew I couldn't sleep at night if I didn't tell her. It pushed me over the edge because he had caused a miscarriage for me, and that's a pain I wouldn't wish upon anyone. Okay, I don't think she's the a-hole for doing that. Yes, my husband knows about the past abuse and that I did this and fully supported me. He even offered to give it to her himself. She's talking about her current husband. I currently have a restraining order on him, an incredibly protective guard dog, a security system, and a concealed carry license that I actively use. The people that found out were not from me telling. At first, I only told my mom, who I went to for advice. My husband, obviously, and later I told 2 friends who knew every detail just so they knew. Most responses were from people I only kinda know or don't know at all because they found out somehow through her, and that's all I know. Okay, well, there's no update on whether or not she's had the baby or, well, she hasn't had the baby because this was just posted, but I will keep up with that one. I'm following that one because I want her to be safe. What do you think? Do you think it's okay to tell the new partner about the abuse? Because I don't think people change in that way, unfortunately. Okay, this is another trigger warning. SA, CSAM, and grooming. Growing up, Uncle Ted was always around. Originally, I played with his kids, and then one day his kids stopped being around and Ted disappeared too for a bit. He eventually re-entered the picture, but I never saw his kids again. I once asked my mom what happened to my friends, and she said they went to live with another family. I once asked my mom what happened to my friends. She said they went to live with other family members. I was pretty sheltered and raised in a don't talk back household, so it didn't seem odd at the time. Ted seemed to always be around, and he'd babysit me and my brother, take us places, always bought us gifts, and he wasn't our biological uncle, but he was close enough to our parents that he was around. Then when I was 13, he abruptly disappeared from our lives. I asked my parents what happened, but wasn't told, and basically again got the don't talk back, just move on. I was a little sad, but in time got busy with other things and didn't think too much about it. I'm now married with a daughter of my own, and a few months back I ran into Ted's ex-wife. I almost didn't recognize her as I hadn't seen her since I was young and played with their kids. I asked how her kids were doing, and she was kind of awkward and basically said, "We don't keep in touch." I thought that was a little odd, but didn't want to push. I told my mom about the situation, and she got a little weird. Finally, she said, "I guess it's time you found out the truth." Here's the truth. Oh my gosh, okay. Whew. Let's get ready for the truth. She explained that Ted had been found with csam. I hope you guys know what that is. He ended up taking a plea. He served only probation and had to go on a registry. Originally, his ex-wife didn't leave him. This led to both of them losing custody of their kids, and they went into the foster system. And then later they were adopted. His ex did eventually leave him, and my mom claims that Ted made a bunch of excuses, tried to say he was framed. I asked my mom. My mom claims that Ted made a bunch of excuses and tried to say he was framed. I asked my mom if she really believed that, and she admitted no, she never did, but Ted was so convincing that she didn't see harm in letting him be around. So this happened before? Oh my God, she still let him come around? Okay. She admitted no, she never did, but Ted was so convincing that she didn't see any harm in letting him be around. I asked what changed, and she said they cut him off when he started dating a 16-year-old while he was in his 40s. My parents were disgusted, but Ted kept parroting age of consent laws and claimed there was nothing wrong. Given I was only 3 years away from 16 at the time, it hit too close to home and they cut things off. I was disgusted. I told my mom she was completely irresponsible, and she tried to say, but he never did anything. Oh my God. I would be mad at my mom too. I said, no, but that's really a risk you were willing to take? I couldn't believe her. I couldn't trust her. I also wasn't sure if I could trust my own memories. I was in therapy for other things, and after discussing this with my therapist in several sessions, we concluded while I wasn't abused, I was most likely groomed by Ted, and there's a chance he was trying to get me to enter a relationship with him when I became of age. I was sick. My brother doesn't want to seek therapy and doesn't think he was being groomed, but also feels disgusted. I've spoken to my husband about this, and he no longer trusts my parents' judgment either. My parents have apologized, but we feel it isn't enough. We went severely low contact, and when we do see them, they are not allowed alone with my daughter. I don't trust their judgment. They say this is an overreaction and they made a mistake years ago and corrected it. I said yes, but only after basically leaving us to be sold out. What? Other family says we need to be easier on my parents and that hindsight is 2020. Am I the asshole? No. I would be livid if my parents knew that they had a kid offender over at my house, staying with me. Oh my gosh, calling you Uncle Ted and he's not your uncle. Yeah, he was grooming. Absolutely. You have to just assume that he would be grooming those kids. And for the parents to allow him to come around even after he lost custody of his own kids because he's not good around kids. And I don't mean like he doesn't pay attention to the kids. I mean like he pays too much attention to the kids. Anyway, I forgot this microphone is so cool. It's actually not as cool as all of y'all's. But hey, when I start making money doing these things, I will start putting money back into my hobby. If I ever get paid for my hobby. Right now, I'm just doing my thing. Trying to get better at reading these things. And yeah, I have anxiety. So I don't know if you guys can tell, like when I'm reading these, I'll start kind of like losing my breath. But oh well, anyway, it's over with now. I did it. I hope that you guys have a good day. Thank goodness it's Friday, right? And I hope that you guys have good plans for the weekend. If you don't, I hope you just chill at home. But don't forget to drink your water. Get outside. Get your sunshine. If you can't get the sunshine, take vitamin D. But call your doctor or call the pharmacist or whatever. The pharmacist can tell you too. Actually, pharmacists are extremely smart. Exactly what vitamin D you need. Because if you ever go looking for vitamin D at the grocery store or wherever, there are several different kinds, several different milligrams. They don't come in milligrams. It's the mcg, the micrograms or whatever. Anywho, I gotta go. I hope that you guys have a good day. I already said that. Hopefully this looks okay. I haven't recorded on my laptop in a long time. I'm gonna try to edit on here. Hopefully I can, because my phone is a little bogged down, but that's okay. I'll figure it out. Yeah. Y'all have a good one.